Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, February 3rd, episode number 53 of the podcast. We've officially hit the 1 year mark, the 1 year anniversary, the birthday of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. And if I can describe how I feel about this moment right now, it being 1 year, not on the dot, obviously, but on the calendar year, 52 weeks equals an entire year. So, I guess we can kind of say that this has now officially been 1 year of the podcast. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that. Hopefully that last week would have meant 1 day. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but as far as I can gather my information, the first episode of this show that premiered last year. It was, let me check it real quick. I believe it was February 4th that this show first aired. Yes, February 4th, 2021 of last year. Today is the February 3rd, so, technically an entire year has passed of me doing this podcast. Been having a lot of fun doing it. So much fun. It's been a blast. Been going through some ebbs and flows and conversations and talking about things that I have been talking about since day one. New things that have been popping in and out of here. Always covering the most, well, not controversial, I would say, but, maybe some of the more funnier topics of what's happening in this crazy world that we live in, whether it's, the NFL, whether it's celebrities, whether it's entertainment, TV, movies, video games. I try to nab it all. And something that I'm so happy that I really have not really stuck my toes into is I'm so happy that I have not, sold out to talk politics. My goodness. Especially after a year that we've been having, in the world of politics and the world of world news and stuff like that. So happy that I have not actually, vented out like that and wanted to talk about that and stuff like that and, put my voice out there and all that. I'm not that I've had trouble wanting to do it. I've never wanted to talk politics in my entire life. I'm happy that I stayed true to the not the guidelines of this show, but just what the show's about. Very much anti-politics. And I hope to continue that. And I want to thank you all for sticking around and listening throughout the year. The ups and downs, the wild episodes, the more tamed episodes, the more not loose cannon of myself. Hopefully you've got to see or at least hear me when I'm really going off on something, when I'm mad about something, when I'm actually curious about something, or when I'm just talking about something that I like, sports, or again, movies, TV, all that stuff that I enjoy to talk about and stuff that I'm interested in. I just hope that you've been having fun as much as I have, and we can continue this conversation and continue the train to go on and on and on into the future, as long as it could take us. But we're starting today with a little bit of a something that I never really thought that was going to ever happen. In terms of, I guess you can call it food or drink, or food, I guess. But Baja Blast is doing a alcoholic beverage now. It's going to be called Hard Mountain Dew. It's going to be sold at, I think, select stores first of all, and it's going to be with the flavors of the Baja Blast, and the so-called, the most famous exclusive drink of all time, I think. You think of what is the most desirable drink at a fast food establishment? It's got to be Baja Blast, hands down. I used to, not drink it, but I had a lot of friends that just loved that stuff. Just loved Baja Blast. It was like their lifeline. Every time they go to Taco Bell, they get Baja Blast, and always a large one. Always got to get Baja Blast. To me, was never really into it. Never really been a big Mountain Dew guy. Always was more of a Coke guy or a Sprite guy or even Pepsi, but never really Mountain Dew. I don't know what it was. I just never really got into it. I mean, as a kid, I did remember drinking it more often, but as I got older, I guess we just didn't buy it as much because it just seemed like it was way too sugary, even though soda's already got so much sugar, to begin with. But for some reason, that one just felt like it was just, off the top sugar and just not really what I would, like to consume. Even though I do enjoy occasional soda here or there, I just never really, we never really bought Mountain Dew that much. And for it to be now a hard beverage, I mean, I just see that this is going to be selling like, wild, like hotcakes, I guess you could say. Like the amount of people that just love Baja Blast and love, also, to consume alcohol, not like in a immature way or a bad way, but just like to leisurely do it and drink responsibly for the most part. This is just like a dream come true, I would think, and it makes you think like, well, who's gonna do the next one? Is there gonna be like a hard Coke? Is Coke gonna release like a Jack and Coke in a can or in a bottle, like already shaken up and everything? That could be revolutionary, I would think. I mean, it's funny, like, how has that not already been done? And if it has, I've never seen it. I've never heard of it. Just imagine, like, they sell like Jack and Coke bottles or Jack and Coke cans. Like, that would be crazy. That'd be insane. I think it's just because soda is so just it's so branded for younger people, like kids and all that. It's mainly like a kid drink, I guess you could say, even though kids shouldn't be drinking it because it's not good for them. But it's like, it's sugary, it's delicious, it's fizzy, it's good shit, but it's not good for you. It's like, you shouldn't be marketing a lot of things to kids like soda. It's just bad for them. We shouldn't be marketing like a lot of fast foods because that's also bad. And it's like, they're not going to eat like what you make at home. Maybe some of them will if you have like if you teach your child well. Like, yeah, I'll eat meatloaf, I'll eat Brussels sprouts, but I will eat a cheeseburger from McDonald's for sure. I'll have that too. But I just think that the soda brands are like so for everybody and marketed to everybody that if you start putting out like like a hard Sprite or a hard Coke or a hard Pepsi, then it's gonna get, people could like misread it, buy the wrong thing. Companies taking into consideration all that stuff. Like, is it gonna be diverse enough, or not diverse, but is it going to be recognizable? Is it going to be able to distinguish it from between Coca-Cola, the soda, and then the hard Coca-Cola, the alcoholic beverage? I don't know. I mean, you see it now with like not alcohol, but like energy drinks. Like Coca-Cola has an energy drink. I believe Mountain Dew has a Kickstarter drink, and like those are like, again, not alcoholic, but like they're more extreme, I guess you could say, more for the adult type. Like, you wouldn't give like an energy drink to like a 6-year-old kid, I mean, I'm not sure if there's anything that's health-wise bad about that. I'm sure that there is. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I would assume like you would not give your child, right, an energy drink. I think that would be like crossing a line where like, it's just something you shouldn't give a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't give a child a Red Bull or a Monster, would you? I mean, maybe you would, but I wouldn't. I think that would just make them so wired up that you would be like, oh God, what have I done? How is this? This was not a good idea. And then it's like, that opens up, like, if they get like the labeling wrong, or they can't distinguish one from another, like, well, the parents are going to sue and stuff like that. There's going to be lawsuits. So I just feel like that's why they never really branch off to do anything else besides soda, Companies like that are really protective of like everything they got, their brand, what they stand for, what that Coca-Cola brand means to, people, and what they put that together with. You know what I'm saying? But I do gotta say, they sometimes make soda commercials pretty good. Like if I'm not in the mood for a soda, or I'm trying to not drink as much soda, which I already don't drink that much, But nowadays, Pepsi's got a commercial when some dude's just eating a plate of nachos and then drinking a Pepsi and being like all refreshed after it and like tastes good. And it's like, oh yeah. Well, it's just some foods are accompanied well with a soda. You just kind of have to do it. You just gotta kind of indulge and just like, go for it. Because it's like, you only live once, right? YOLO. You just gotta do it. But they do that with like that commercial, McDonald's with Coke and with Sprite. They do all that stuff and how that tastes and how that, it's just these combinations. They just mix well together. Like being from California and having like a lot of, taco places, taquerias, taco trucks, and being a Mexican American, being grown up on that food. Yeah, I always like to pair like some tacos or a burrito from like an actual, like I said, taqueria or taco truck with a Mexican bottled Coke. I mean, I think that's just amazing. Hand in hand, great combination, 1-2 punch. You get that on a pretty warm day. It doesn't matter what day it is, but it hits different. That Mexican Coke just hits different. And you can say that with any like actual like made of real sugar soda. They hit different. But I will say, I don't know if I said this on this podcast yet, but I did get recently a pack of real sugar Pepsi. I don't know if it's like, if it's like maybe a little old or it's just not as maybe not as new, or maybe it's kind of flat or something, but it didn't taste like I was drinking soda. It tastes like I was just drinking syrup. Maybe because it lost all of its fizz. Maybe those real drinks are just less fizzy. I just don't remember. Or maybe like just like soda nowadays is even fizzier than it's ever been. Maybe that's it. Maybe that I'm so used to that burn on my tongue and on my throat and that sensation going down your esophagus into your stomach. It's like, it just kind of makes you feel like it's refreshing in a way. When really their most refreshing drink is water. I think of all time. Like, I mean, I enjoy a good glass of lemonade, a good glass of Crystal Light, a good glass of, I don't know, like Gold Peak tea. That's also very good. But nothing beats water, man. Nothing beats water. I don't care if you're like, you want a soda so bad, or if you're so thirsty, you're like, oh, just give me a soda. To me, that's just like, that's like almost sacrilegious. Like, no, give me some water. I need that right now. That's what I need. So, in the terms of the Mountain Dew Baja Blast booze, I might try it, just to see what it's like. It's like I'm talking like it's an experience. It's not. It's just a drink, but I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a swig. I'll test it out. But sometimes though, those like one-off drinks are like super like once in a lifetime or once in like a while, and it's like sometimes they just kind of hit or they kind of miss sometimes. I mean, like I remember back when they were like making like other versions of like, what was it? I think it was like when I was really young, they had like other versions of Mountain Dew. And I remember trying like a couple. Like I remember I tried Code Red, which is now I think a staple of Mountain Dew. Didn't like that. Did not like the black the Voltage one. It was like in a black container. It was called Voltage. I think it was like maybe not black, but maybe purple, I think. That also wasn't very good. And I was just like, these maybe not for me. Maybe not for me. But you get that all the time, though, with all these other drinks. It's just like, it's a cycle. It's like, what's going to hit or what's going to miss? Now, you remember back when they used to do, like, sending your recipe to Lay's of what flavor we should make for a new chip. And I remember, like, the ones that I saw that were, being advertised were, like, chicken and waffles. And I want to say, like, maybe, I think one of them was barbecue chicken pizza, I think was one. There was a couple. Let me just try to look this up right now just to see the other flavors of Lay's, because there was a lot. There was quite a bit. They made a lot. And they some of them I heard that were pretty good. I never had the chicken and waffles one. But there were quite a bit. And I remember like there was like it's almost like a contest that who could send in the best recipe, who could who's got the best flavor. There's one here called fried pickle. This might be, yeah, I mean, that might be good. I've never tried a fried pickle before. I'm a big fan of pickles, but I think that would work in a chip. I mean, I think that they make like, I think that there's like a other company of chips that makes like pickled flavored chips. I might be wrong. Maybe that's just sunflower seeds, but they make like dill pickle chips. I'm like, that wouldn't be terrible, right? I think that I would try it, but I don't know if I would buy it. Maybe if it was that good though. Maybe if it was that good. But me, I stick to the traditional flavors. Like, I'm a big fan of the original Lay's. Just original Lay's potato chips are just so good to me. Like, because they're just so simple. You know, they're just potatoes and salt and oil. And that's it. That's all you really need. I mean, what else could you want? I am kind of a, you know, if there's barbecue chips, I'll eat them, but I'm not like gonna like seek them out. You know what I'm saying? But I do though think that in the case of Ruffles, I think that the superior flavor for Ruffles is cheddar sour cream, superior to even the original. Like, I would probably never, if on my own, just buy a bag of regular Ruffles. Like, if I'm just gonna consume them without any dip, like to me, Ruffles are just a dip chip. Like, you can't. I just don't see myself eating those chips without dip. I just feel like that they've been so, to me, a staple of a chip dip, like a chip to accompany a dip, that I just can't eat them by themselves. I just can't. Now the cheddar sour cream though, I mean, I can just inhale an entire bag by myself, no dip, nothing, because they already taste phenomenal. They taste phenomenal. Also, sour cream and green onion for the Lay's. For Lay's sour cream and onion potato chip. I'm not as crazy as some people are. I do think that they're good. They are pretty good. Another one is limon Lay's are pretty good. Chili limon Lay's are pretty good. Those are something that I would eat for sure. But I was never, ever to this day, and I've recently tried some, like maybe a couple months ago, just because that they were there, I think, or somebody had them. I can't remember. But salt and vinegar chips have never really been my thing. Never been my thing. Like, honestly, I don't really care for vinegar. In stuff, like when it's cooked in and you can't really taste it or smell it, and it's just kind of like there, but it's very subtle. Like if you ordered like a sandwich, like at Porta Subs or Subway even, you ask for oils and vinegars or whatever, oils and spices, they put vinegar in that. That's a good reason to have that. It just it melds the flavors together. You can't really taste the vinegar as much. It's not that, standing out. It's just kind of there and it's fine. But with the chips, the smell of it just really gets to me. Really gets to me. I'm just like, I get off-putted by it. I just get off-putted. Off-put. I don't know if off-putted is the right word to say there, but it's very unappetizing to me. But I think, honestly, I think I might go number one chip of all time, cheddar sour cream ruffle. I have no problem with eating an entire bag of those. No problem. After that, I would go nacho cheese Dorito, because I cannot finish an entire bag of those. Something about it, just like, I feel like the cheese dust on those things, the first 20 are amazing. After you get past 20 chips, you're like, okay, this is I feel like this is burning a hole in my mouth or something like that. It just it feels, it just doesn't taste as good after 20 chips. I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then after that, I'm gonna do top 5, by the way. So I got cheddar sour cream Ruffles, nacho cheese Doritos. Then I'm gonna go Lay's original potato chips. I love those. That's number 3. Number 4, I'm gonna go Limon hot Cheetos, because I enjoy that little bit of zest from the limon. I also like regular hot Cheetos. Those are pretty good too, but I think that the limon just adds a little bit of zest to it, and I enjoy that quite a bit. And now number 5 is going to be a wild pick. It's not going to be the pick you probably think, or that how could you pick this over that? But I'm going to go original Lay's stacks. If you don't know what those are essentially the Frito-Lay product of Frito-Lay's attempt, or not attempt, I would say Frito-Lay's success to Pringles. And I know people are going to be like, what? How could you, does that mean you not like Pringles? Does that mean Pringles suck to you? It does mean that. I am not a Pringles guy. I used to be. I really did. But I feel like after a while with Pringles, like maybe after 2 or 3, well, where they taste good. They taste, salty and savory, and they taste good. But I think for me, I'm going to go back on this. Even after one bite, one Pringle nowadays, I just know that it's not a potato. And I checked, like, it's barely got any potato in it, if any. It's like, and I know they're not called potato chips, right? But in my life, before I read the ingredients, before I even did my own research, before I, got a more of a sophisticated palate, I thought that those were actual potato chips. Like, those were like made out of potatoes, like full on potatoes. They're not. I mean, they're just not even. I'm gonna look up right now Pringles ingredients right now because I'm not sure what's in these guys. All right, now this is from. Let me go to the actual website of Pringles because I don't know what's in them. Let me see. I just feel like they're not really at all potato. One bit. Where the freak are they? I'm on the website. I just can't find the nutrition. Let me type it in the search. Nutrition. Hopefully I spelled that right. Pringles, crisp. All right, let's see. Original, where to buy. Here we go. Ingredients for Pringles. Original crisps. Not even potato chips, just crisps. I think, isn't that like what they use in England to say chips? Why are they saying crisps? No, this is a British website, but I don't think so. It says dried potatoes, vegetable oil, corn, cottonseed, high oleic, soybean, and or sunflower oil. That's all in parentheses, by the way. So corn, cottonseed, high oleic, soybean, and or sunflower oil is all in parentheses. And then we got this is going to be a word I'm going to try to sound out right now. I'm sorry about that. Degerminated yellow corn flour, cornstarch, rice flour, maltodextrin, mono, and diglycerides, that might be pronounced incorrect, salt, and wheat starch. So, I mean, I don't know if that's, enough potato in there to be considered a potato chip. It says potato crisps, so maybe the word crisps means a little bit of a loosely, potato ingredient in it. I don't know. That's just, what it says right there. But just never really a big fan. So again, my list is cheddar sour cream Ruffles, nacho cheese Doritos. What was number 3? I'm blanking now. I did not write these down, by the way. I just kind of spontaneously went there. Number 3. God, I wish I knew what I said. Can't remember. But I ended with, obviously, Lay's stacks. So I think number 3 was Original Lay's. Original Lay's was 3. Number 4 was Limon Hot Cheetos. And then number 5 was Lay's stacks. So those are the top 5 for me. Cheddar sour cream Ruffles, nacho cheese Doritos, Original Lay's, Limon Hot Cheetos, and Lay's Stacks. Top 5 chips for me. And that might change. That could change, when I have like a Bugle. That could change when I have sour cream and onion. That could change when I have any other chip that I think that is, delicious. But, as for right now, where I'm sitting right now, that's my top 5 of chips. Top 5. And that's going to be. That's what we're going to stick with. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I think I'm confident in my top 5 chips. Moving on. Big release this week. Big release last weekend, actually. During the football games last week on CBS, the AFC Championship game, there was a Halo trailer released. And not for any game, not for any, what you know about Halo, which is just video games. Well, most people know Halo for is video games. There are books and there are comics, but they don't reach the masses as much, or at least as much as the games do. But a trailer for the Halo TV series was dropped during that game, during the halftime performance. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Going to give you my thoughts and what it's going for, what it's trying to do, how it's going to be different from the games. It's actually going to be a lot different, but going to give you my thoughts on that and what I think about that. So if you didn't know this, it's no big deal. But they've announced a couple days before the trailer that the Halo TV show is not going to be based off of any existing property, and it's not going to be tied to the Halo canon that is shared with the games, the books, and the comics. So it's going to be a completely different thing that has nothing to do with any of those other existing properties or stories or events. It's its own thing. That way that they could, do whatever they want essentially and still kind of remain true to what happens in the games, but maybe a little bit different. Maybe different characters, maybe different situations, scenarios, but essentially what they wanted to do was they didn't want to be tied down to the Halo canon that fans already know and love. Like, they didn't want to, recreate or adapt like a game to a TV show or a movie. They didn't want to be binded by what happened in those games in order for them to tell a story, which I'm fine with. I'm super fine with. I mean, I wish that they did that with Star Wars back then. When Disney first bought Lucasfilm and Star Wars, I wish that that's what happened. But they decided to make everything from every book, every video game, every comic, every TV show, everything is going to be in one cohesive timeline that it all happened, and that's it. That's all it is. There's no it's not going to. It's all tied in. And I was just thinking okay, well, that's cool, but there's going to be a lot of restrictions and stuff that you kind of can't do, or you can't really change that much stuff and do whatever you want. So with this being said, for Halo, I'm excited because that means they can do whatever they want and change things, and it should not offend the fans because they've already said it's not going to be tied to the main canon. That's always going to be there. So, initial thoughts, what I think about this, what I think about the trailer. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed what they're going for, like a chief story. It feels like it's super centered on Chief and Dr. Halsey and the whole creation of the Spartans. Like we're gonna be getting it seems to be like we're going to be getting like the beginning of the Human Covenant War in this show. If you don't really know what that is, it's a conflict that's been in the game since the very beginning. The Covenant don't like the humans, and they want to kill us all. And it's all connected with these rings, which connects to a higher power within other aliens and stuff like that. You should really dig into it. But for the basis for the show, Covenant don't like us, they want to kill us all. That's like pretty much what you need to know. And there's an artifact and the Halo ring involved. That's pretty much the gist of it. And I think that they did that pretty good in the trailer, but however, I do think that they could have elaborated a little bit more on what the Covenant are in that trailer, because we get a lot of Chief, we get a lot of the Spartans, we get a lot of, who's who and stuff like that, and locations and stuff and action shots, but we don't really. If you're casual, you don't know much about Halo, maybe a little bit, I think that you're going to be confused on who the bad guys are, because there's not really much on them. I mean, there's a couple cool shots with elites, elites fighting Chief, and a couple silhouette of what it looks to be the Prophets of Truth, Regret, and I'm blanking on the third one. Truth, Regret, and yeah, I'm forgetting the third one. That's a shame, because I'm a big Halo guy. But you saw their silhouettes, a couple of characters that you've never seen from any of the games in this show, which is, it's not concerning, but it's like, like, where can we go with this? Like, what's gonna change? What's gonna be the same? And obviously we got a live action version of Cortana. I believe is being played by the woman who voices Cortana in the show, in the games, Jen Taylor. And I'm excited. I think it's looking good, looking really interesting. Do I think that the trailer showed a little too little? In my opinion, yes. They could have showed more to get people more hyped up. I think that overall the trailer is good, but I don't think that it had quite the buzz that I thought that it was going to have. Like, people actually like talking about it and being hyped up about it, being excited about it, and being like, "Oh, I can't wait for this! I can't wait! It's gonna be awesome." But I think it's gonna be solid. I really do. I think that it's gonna be, a show. It's gonna be Paramount's like biggest show. I think Paramount Network or Plus, sorry, because they've been doing like fun, like cool little like campaign ads of like all the freaking characters and every like property in Paramount Plus, like singing the Halo song. You got a bunch of stuff with Halo happening right now, and a lot of buzz, but I still think that it could have been a little bit better. Not to say that's going to be bad. I'm not hating on the show already. I'm just saying that it could have probably been a little bit more oomph to the trailer, Maybe that's just because I am a Halo fan, and I kind of like, I've always kind of thought what a live action, like big budget Halo show would like kind of look like. And for the most part, it's like, I like the feel, I like the tone, but it's at the same time, there's like not much shown. It's a 2-minute trailer, right? And there's a lot of stuff in there. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh, they could, like, I just feel like there's more to this that I want to see, and that they could show a lot more, but they just haven't done it yet. But it's like, we'll get there. We'll get there. I think that also, though, when people do get mad, and they will get mad, once they see more stuff about it, when the actual episodes start rolling out, when the show is actually kicked off, people will be mad about it. I'm just happy that they've already come out and established that this is not part of the Halo canon. Oh my God, thank Christ. If they did not do that, or if they were like waiting to do that and see like what the reception was, I mean, it already, for all I know, that announcement, it not being part of the Halo game canon, is probably just like to brace you for what's going to happen. Maybe there's going to be some shit that just like comes out of left field, you have not expected for a character to do, and like, what? That's not new. I'm so happy that they've announced that. They know, people should know now that it's not going to be like the games or like the books or like the comics. So, I'm looking forward to it. I truly am. And it's coming out in March 24th, which was a lot sooner than I thought that it was, because at the moment they're doing the Halo, Infinite season, and we're doing, I think that it ends in May. The first season ends in May. It's like a battle pass type of thing. And my brother was saying that I got it. I'm thinking that when they launch the new season, that's when it's going to come out. It's going to come out like at the same time, like simultaneously, and that's when we're going to get the show. He was close, though. He was close. I believe it will still be airing when the new Halo season does drop. So that's going to be cool to see. That's going to be cool if they like integrate the armor and all that. They bring stuff from the show into the game, like in the multiplayer at least, and like do stuff like that. And if they integrate that way, that could be pretty cool. They maybe get some maps from the show, or like a weapon from the show, a vehicle from the show. That could be pretty cool. That could be awesome. But yeah, moving on. And I thought about this. You know what? I'm thinking about this right now. I don't know if I should say this, but I kind of have a theory going on. This is going to be so stupid. It's going to be really, really dumb. Really dumb. You know what? I'm not going to say it. That would have put me in the grave. Moving on, though. Moving on. Talking football. NFL Championship Sunday just recapped. And of course, before I get to that, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening within the NFL these past couple days. Stuff that could be changing the NFL forever. The situation with Brian Flores, him, allegedly claiming racial discrimination between a few teams in the NFL in general, in terms of hiring minority coaches. I don't know much about this, but it just doesn't seem like seems like the NFL's got a huge problem. Huge problem. And it just got even worse because, Brian Flores released that he got text messages from Bill Belichick thinking that he was Brian Daboll, when in reality they were sent to Brian Flores about getting the New York Giants job before Brian Flores even got his interview. So you're just thinking to yourself like, oh my God, the proof is right there. It's kind of right there if you think about it, of just the unfairness and the not equal opportunities that's been happening. And it's just like, wow, this is, if there was any proof of it right there, this is it. This is like 100% proof right here. And people are saying like, oh, this is all people. I've heard people say like, this is Belichick's way to get back at the Giants or to get back at people at the NFL or whatever. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I think he just actually fucked up. I think that people like to think that Bill Belichick is such a huge mastermind at, football and life and manipulation and the not manipulation, but like orchestrating chaos in the NFL. But I just feel like this was an actual fuck up. Like, he did not mean to send that text to Brian Flores. He meant to send it to Brian Daboll, and just colossal fuck up. And the process kind of exposed everything. And it's just, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, like what's going to happen moving forward, how this gets settled. Brian Flores essentially, is suing the NFL and those three teams. So, what was it? The Broncos, the Giants, and the Dolphins. He's all suing them, and in general, just the NFL. So it's like, oof, wild. It sucks though. It sucks hearing that news. Really does. It's just, it doesn't make you feel good. It's like, that's just unfair. And it's just not a fair shot. And it's just like, did anybody else know? How long has this been going on for? Who was involved in this? It's like, geez, it's way too big for me to talk about on this podcast, because I haven't done that much looking into it. I just kind of seen the surface and what people have been talking about, and just kind of reiterating that, and what I think about that. It's super fucked up, just not even fair. Like, I wouldn't do that. I would hate that if, like, I went for a job interview and, like, I was like going in and not really being considered, and essentially the company already picked who they wanted and who they were going to put as their head coach, and like, you're going in like, oh, I have got a chance, yay, only to find out that you had zero chance. It's like, wow, that's just deflating. That's sad. And the NFL's got it in. They're really in some deep shit right now. Deep shit. And then, to mount on like every other thing that's happened in the NFL, the AB still, Antonio Brown, what his situation. And that all happened the same day that Tom Brady actually finally announced his retirement. Like the Brian Flores thing all just blew up and essentially kind of overshadowed Tom Brady's thing. I mean, it's like, oh my God. NFL can't catch a break. I mean, they went that entire few days of Brady retiring only to find out that he hasn't made a decision. And then he makes his decision, and then Brian Flores just drops a bomb, a nuke on the NFL. It's like, wow, this league, you actually got to quote this league. If you don't know what that means, it's like an expression. They say like, this is crazy. They say that about the NBA, like this league is insane. But now it's like it's used in the NFL because it's actually freaking crazy what's happening. But I hope it gets resolved. I hope something happens. I hope, there's just got to be some kind of solution here. Like, I didn't want Brian Flores to get fired from Miami. I thought that he was a decent coach. I thought that he actually gave heart, watching him coach on the sideline and coach that team. The reports saying that he did not want Tua Tagovailoa. He wanted Herbert, and then that he also claims that he was paid to lose games too. And to me, like, that's just kind of like super fucked because, look, an entire organization is not just one person. It's an entire, people that work there. Coaches, the staff, trainers, players, everything. They all go into that one goal to win games. It's like you're gonna tell somebody to coach to, your coach to purposely lose. It's like, I mean, what are you trying to do here? Like, is it to tank on purpose? Is it to make somebody look bad? I don't know. Like, if Brian Flores is allegedly saying that they paid him $100,000 to lose games, if that's true, if that's 100% factual, like I said, just problems just mounting. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It's a tough day to be an owner in the NFL. Tough person to be tough time to be Roger Goodell. I mean, he's got to answer a lot of questions. So do the Giants, the Broncos, and the Dolphins, and just the entire NFL's got to come out, because this is that text message, man. That blew it off. That set it in motion. And excuse me. Truly, just now the force is burning. Now it's burning. It's like somebody wanted to do a gender reveal and actually accidentally set the entire state on fire. It's terrible though. Bad joke. But that's essentially what happened. A fire has started from that text message. Oof. I don't know if it's going to be put out anytime soon though. But we must move on. We must continue to the games. We must talk about what we saw on Sunday between the Bengals and the Chiefs, and the 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Start with the AFC game. Bengals beat the Chiefs 27-24 in an absolute, what I would like to call, and I think it's safe to say, that the Chiefs actually had a kind of a meltdown in terms of in the second half. I think that's safe enough to say that. Listen, they were up 21-10 after the first half. I mean, they were rolling, actually rolling, like they were playing good football. Patrick Mahomes was playing good. Everybody was playing good. But after they couldn't score on, I think it was first and goal. Right before the half ended, they couldn't score. I mean, I didn't think that it was going to be do or die at that moment. I just thought that it was just a bad couple plays put together. But after that, they didn't score until the fourth quarter. They only scored 3 points in that entire second half, and even overtime. They actually shit the bed. And you want to think that who's to blame? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Is it the play calling? Is it just, the Chiefs always have that kind of, not mentality, but they always kind of walk themselves and kind of, perpetuate that, we're the Chiefs. We're going to win football games because we're the Chiefs, and we have Patrick Mahomes, we have Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. We're just the Chiefs. We're going to win every game. Do it as effortlessly as possible. But it's just not the case. And again, he had a good first half. Patrick Mahomes had a good first half. Right? He played well, but the actual the ability of Joe Burrow to come back in Arrowhead in Kansas City against Patrick Mahomes and play well enough to beat them, to come back and beat them. I mean, I think we just got to reassure ourselves of what we're seeing. This guy, Joe Burrow, who nobody thought was going to do all that well this year, right? He was coming back from a torn ACL injury. He got his rookie season was cut short because of that injury, right? And not really seeing him play all that much last year. It's like, well, what can you do this year, guy? What's the sky's the limit? What's the top that you're gonna what's your peak here? Like how far can you go? And he's in the Super Bowl. Like, actually, like it's crazy how well he's been playing. He's been playing smart. He's been playing confident. He's been playing cool. And it just shows you that, you got to get the right quarterback, the right receivers, the right running backs. Their defense played very well. And the right coach, it seems. I mean, Zach Taylor is, he last year was pretty bad. But, it just shows you like what a year can do and what a year can change. And, it's fun to watch. Now, I wasn't rooting for anybody in particular because I'm a Rams fan, but it's fun to see. It's cool to see how these new quarterbacks, these younger quarterbacks, are going to be tearing up the league soon. I mean, absolutely just tearing it up. And it's fun to watch. Really is. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, again, he played well. 26 for 39, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks, man. Those 2 picks at towards the end, it just seems like they were trying to go for the long ball, the killer shot too often. And at the end, when they tried it at the end, in overtime, it wasn't going to happen. It was just too much. They were just trying to force it too much, and the Bengals defense was not going to have it. I mean, and I've seen this many, many times with teams. When you try to force it like that so blatantly and it just backfires like that, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. It's just like, it's inevitable. Like the defenses are known, are taught, and they practice all these plays, and like they know the offenses tendencies, what they want to do, and it's like when that desperation kicks up, right? When that desperation hits in, and you just start going for it and going for it and going for it, like it's never really going to end well. It never really does end well, and that henceforth, Kansas City is now eliminated. And I never would have thought that this would ever happen. I never thought that picking this game, I picked the Chiefs. I was so confident in the Chiefs. I was like, there's no way that the Bengals walk into Kansas City and actually beat these Chiefs. I know that their season this year, they finished 11-5. They had a good record, but they just never, they collapsed. I truly think that. I mean, for you to be up by that much, not score a single point in the second half, and act like it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, we're the Chiefs, we always win because we're the Chiefs. It's like, no, you can't just have that mentality. That's what we've been seeing from the Chiefs this entire season. Oh, we'll come back, we'll just come back. No, it didn't happen. When you got a team like the Bengals, who's young, and they're hungry, and they want to beat you at home, and they just want to disrespect you at home, you cannot do that. You have been able to do that in the past. I won't doubt you guys. You've had some pretty amazing teams in Kansas City. You really have. But it might have been just the bad day or the bad game to pick to do that with these Bengals. I'm not going to overhype them up. I know what they are to me. I still think that they're just pretty good. They've just been catching some fire. They're the hot team right now. They just are. They're the hot team. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Titans, and now the Chiefs. And to be fair, the Titans aren't that good. I mean, their record is pretty good, but are they really the best competition in the AFC? Kind of tough to figure that one out. I mean, record-wise, yes, they were the best. I mean, but you just know, like, Tennessee, very inconsistent. Ryan Tannehill just not very good in these type of games. So it's hard to pinpoint that. It really is. But, you could say that about the NFC too. Like, everybody thought that the Packers were going to go to the Super Bowl this year. They didn't go. They didn't make it. The 49ers beat them. So it's like, but this is also the beauty, though. This is what I like to see, because it's not like college football, right, where you know who's going to be in the playoff, you know who's going to make the national championship, or even in the NBA a couple years ago with, every LeBron-led team is going to make the finals, and he's going to go up against what? Steph Curry and the Warriors. It's like, okay. At least this is some unpredictability that we never really saw coming. So in terms of that, it's like, it's fun to see. But I do think that in terms of TV ratings, now I don't want to seem like a Debbie Downer here. Truly, truly don't. But I'm going to just assume that this Super Bowl might not pull as many viewers on TV as, past Super Bowls. If it was Chiefs-Rams, yes, it would have for sure. If it was Niners-Chiefs, yes. But Bengals-Rams, it just doesn't. I don't see that many people tuning in, unless you love football like I do, and just want to watch the Super Bowl. Or people who know me know that I'm a Rams fan. They want to come over, watch me probably suffer. That's gonna want people to come watch. So I don't know. I don't sense a big rating from this Super Bowl, but I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong on that. I just don't see it happening. Anyways, moving on to the main event. Now, if you are a fan of football, you know that 49ers-Rams is not a very classical rivalry. Not a classic rivalry in terms of like comparing to 49ers-Cowboys or Patriots-Colts, even that one's kind of a bit newer, or Steelers-Raiders. Like, Rams 49ers is not like up there on that. But recently, in the past few years, it has been one of the marquee matchups, I think, that people like to watch. One, because both teams are in the NFC West. Both teams share a state. And, it just feels like, matchup-wise, they could be, with the history behind San Francisco, LA, Giants, Dodgers. Even though it's not as fierce as with these teams, I think it's becoming something more than we thought it would be. It's blossoming into an actual rivalry that I would love to partake in. And in this game, the Rams beat the 49ers 20-17 in an absolute game where I thought we were not going to win, as in the Rams. Because, listen, I mean, it's just these starts to these games, man. These starts, the first quarter was 0-0, and they scored 10, then we score 7 in the second half, and it's 10-7, and they score a touchdown in the third. And then, honestly, I'm thinking like, oh, Jesus Christ, what's happening here? Like, I was like, all this talent, all this money spent, is it really going to end this way? Can we really not just get over these guys? I mean, they have owned us. Like, San Francisco has owned LA in terms of football for quite some time. And in particular, Shanahan has owned McVay. It's been actually kind of embarrassing to watch, being a Rams fan, of how much one man in Shanahan lives rent-free in McVay's head. It's actually kind of astonishing and not fun to watch, by the way. I mean, we're going to get to it, though. We're going to get to it. But we will talk about the players first. Matthew Stafford played pretty well. He played decent. 31 for 45, 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers was all right. Cooper Kupp, though, my God. This guy. And OBJ as well. Both of those receivers played incredible. They made all the catches that they needed to make. They were open. They were deadly. Matthew Stafford threw very well for the most part. He almost gave it away, though, at the end, though. But Jesus Christ. We saw it again, people. We saw it again. The 49ers at the end of the game were losing it. They were running out of gas. Their offensive line could no longer protect Jimmy G. And I was watching it as it was happening. I was like, oh my God, they're collapsing. Oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. Fourth quarter, Kyle Shanahan is happening, people. It's happening again. Now, we all like to point at the Falcons' loss to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. We all like to point at that. But that was when he was an offensive coordinator. He is now a head coach now. So it's a little bit different now. We can look at it a little bit different, with a different lens, with a head coach lens, and truly look and see, is this chronic? Is the fourth quarter a chronic pain for Kyle Shanahan? It looks that way. It truly, truly, truly does. Now, he's escaped this a couple times, right? He's escaped it against the Packers. He escaped it against the Cardinals. Wait, no. Who the 49ers play to get there? Who did they play? The Cowboys. He escaped it there, too, against the Cowboys. But this one, he was not able to escape. He was not able to escape. It got to him, I think. I don't know, like, if that's even remotely right to say that the pressure got to him, but it's happened so many times now, or nearly happened a few times now, that you kind of think and look, and it's like, can this man coach under that kind of pressure in the fourth quarter? Now, I think that it could be the fact that Jimmy G's his quarterback, that maybe he's not capable of that kind of pressure in terms of Jimmy G. Like, is that what could be causing that? Because I'm pretty sure that Jimmy G has been the quarterback for the 49ers ever since Shanahan got there. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there was anybody else. If it was, it might be C.J. Beathard, I think, but I'm pretty sure for the most part it was Garoppolo. But we were able to come out, though. We accepted the challenge, and we were not playing very good defense in the first half. We were not. Until that desperation set in. Aaron Donald and Von Miller and all those boys were just like, nah, we're not going to fucking let these idiots make it in our place. And while I was impressed with the Rams fans there still could have been more. There were still too many Niners fans there. And I got a theory on that. I have a theory. The Rams just moved back to LA from St. Louis like about 6 years ago, right? Up until then, they've been playing in St. Louis. Before that, they were playing in St. Louis for like maybe 10 years, I think. So those fans are already probably gone, right? I mean, like, there are Rams fans, I've seen them even before when they were in St. Louis, where I live in California. They're still there. But we got to, like, build that fan base up again. So we got to build it back up. Like it was stripped right about a decade ago, put in St. Louis, where it was never good. They were never good in St. Louis. They're back in LA. I hope they never leave again, because they should stay here forever. I love them. But it's like the fan base has to build up again in LA. Build up that football culture, because people like to bash on LA fans that LA doesn't have fans. That's not true. They have a lot of fans. They have a lot of Lakers fans. They have a lot of Dodgers fans. I've been to a few Dodgers games last year. There was a lot of fans there. Pretty much every game was sold out. So it's just they got to get back into the football, right? They've been there for 6 years. Maybe this Super Bowl will really kindle that and ignite it and make it explode. Maybe that will happen, right? But it's going to happen. So don't count the Rams fans out yet. They still got to build up what they have and get bigger, but they will eventually. That's just my beef, because everybody fucking bags on the Rams fans for not being that many or that loyal. It was because they just came back, all right? They technically just came back. They've had 1 year with Fisher and the rest with McVay, and it's like, we're back, So give us some time. They weren't even that popular that before, right? Just relax. But it feels good. It feels good to win that. And I know my announcement earlier this year of who I was going to be a fan of, it does seem to be lining up pretty good for me. Like, if we actually win the Super Bowl, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to buy all that merch, buy all those shirts and championships. I can't wait for that if that actually happens. It all seems well for me, though. Seems like everything's going well for me in terms of a Rams fan. So I like that a lot. I appreciate that. But we will not end there. We have to talk about Sean McVay and his coaching. And what I saw on Sunday is actually kind of suspect. I mean, you talk about a guy who's been in this league for about, head coaching for about maybe 6 or 5 years, right? I think maybe 5. And usually, and for the most part, he seems like a very composed coach, very, level-headed coach. And knowing his boundaries, knowing what to chase, what not to chase, making the right calls for the most part. He has had some boneheaded calls that I have called him out on, and boneheaded decisions that he's made in terms of, giving up all these draft picks to get these absolute Hall of Famers, but, not the best fit for the future of the franchise and of the team. But we can't let him get away with how he totally mismanaged those challenges. I mean, dude, what are you just trying to chase it now? Like, he had to have been seeing these replays of like these plays that he was challenging and be like, no, dude, don't challenge that. And he just wasted 2 challenges, like pretty much back to back. I think we started the 4th quarter without a single timeout. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You're making it harder on us. And I was just like thinking like, yeah, if we lose, it's got to be on Mcvay because this is just immature coaching right here. Like, this is just like trying to chase something that just is not there. And the entire time I was just like, this better not be the reason that we lose this game. This better not be the reason. Or else it's just like, bro, I mean, we could all honestly blame it on you. I mean, you would have the faults for it to be on you completely if you actually failed and flopped and, the game was over. I mean, there's just no other way. It's just that's that. There would be no other fingers to point at except for you. I mean, that everybody would be pointing at you, but we got lucky that it didn't come back to bite us. Our defense played better. Aaron Donald showed up in the 4th quarter, and it was beautiful to watch. Jimmy G nearly falling on the ground, just hacking up a ball, intercepted, and then that was it. Game over. Game over. It was incredible. Incredible to watch. And I know that I seem very spoiled right now. And I feel spoiled. I feel great. As a fan of the Rams, as, been with the team for a good entire year, rooting and wanting them to succeed. Matthew Stafford has now 3 playoff wins. 3 straight playoff wins, and is going to play for a Super Bowl. I mean, it's amazing. I'm so happy at the moment. And for everybody to, I mean, I was worried at the beginning, like, Matthew Stafford is 0-3 in the playoffs. Like, oh, that's not good. Like, he's been there 3 times and lost every time he's been there. So it wasn't good to walk into the playoffs with, but having us in the Super Bowl at home in LA, man, I feel good. I feel amazing. I saw the prices for the tickets, though. And it's like, are these 4 fans? I can't. There's no way I can afford any of those tickets. Come on, man. But anyway, happy for the Rams. Happy for them so much. I'm not going to make a prediction yet because we still got an entire week before the Super Bowl happens. But you can already tell who I'm going to root for and who I'm going to pick. But I'll just save that for next week because we still got the Pro Bowl, which I'm not going to watch, by the way, because that shit's lame. But yeah, that'll be interesting. I can't believe we're already at the Super Bowl. Like, it's already going to happen soon. Time flies, man. Time just keeps flying by. Doesn't stop. Just keeps on going. Keeps on trucking. I love it. But it is sad, though. Football will be over on, February 13th? That's it. Then we got to wait another, wait until August till it ramps up again, and we'll be ready. But you know what? I will say this. I've been watching some NBA games lately. I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. I'm ready to get back into the NBA. Ready to get back into the NBA and get ready for the madness about to happen. All-Star Weekend, the NBA playoffs. Oh, man, I love that stuff. I love that shit so much. But it is sad, though. There is some sadness to come with this. Looks like the Major League Baseball is not really moving forward with their lockout. So, will there be a season? I hope so. I love my Dodgers. You know that. Even though they break my heart a lot of times. I still love them, but I want that season to happen. But as far as it looks right now, it looks like it's going to be at least delayed, which I have not seen a sports delay since the NBA lockout. Was it back in 2008, 2010, I think? It was a while ago, but it's the first lockout I've seen. A delay not caused by a global pandemic, too, by the way. I don't count that. That's not caused by humans. That was a virus. People weren't delaying it because of the not being paid enough or something like that. That's just, this is going to be the first one in a while for me that I will actually remember, because it looks like, from what I've been hearing, that they have not made it close to a deal to continue to play. So we'll see how that goes. Well, and if they don't play, that's going to be weird. Like, imagine we go an entire season without any baseball. That's a possibility. Like, what's going to happen is I don't think we've gone an entire year without baseball. I mean, I have to look into that, but or any sport, right? I don't think any sports actually fully canceled their season because of not able to agree on playing conditions and salaries and all that. I don't think that's happened in a while, at least. But I would have to look into that and check that out for myself. But yes, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on every podcast platform, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can watch this on YouTube, all at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, review, ring the bell, thumbs it up, whatever you want to do. Leave a review. Give me some feedback, what you like, what you don't like. And yeah, until next time, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week.